views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in this podcast are the content creator's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of Essex County College. The material and information presented here is for entertainment and informative purposes only. It should not be considered as professional advice or a substitute for seeking professional guidance.
Stay in your lane. What we said, stay in your lane. What we said, ready, set, go. Ready, set,
Go.
ready, 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 set, go.
Okay, Mariah Carey.
Hello and welcome back to the Stay in Your Lane podcast. I'm your host, Samanta Harmond, aka Miss Spicy. Chinchilla in the building, don't it? I hope you guys went out and check out my latest episode. It's with Ivy Nazir. It's amazing. It's about friendship. We kick it off. We talk about friendship, because friendship, guys, these days, I think it's something that many people don't talk about when it comes to the hurt of friendship when you break off with a friend. So it's really insightful. But not only that, he talk about, changing his lane and finding his passion. So today he's back in the studio with me for part 2, and we're just gonna continue that conversation, you understand, because he was setting the foundation, so now he's about to build a block on it, going a little deeper and everything. So please go over to YouTube at SLAOESSEX and go to the playlist Stay in Your Lane, or Spotify, same SLAOESSEX, and go to the playlist Stay in Your Lane, or YouTube, link is always in the bio at Stay_in_Your_Lane podcast, and then right there you go, bring you straight to the YouTube. All right, or you can follow me on Instagram. It's Samanta_Harmond. All right, yes, follow my journey. As you know, I'm in a pageant and we going for the title, New Jersey. So with no over ado, hello sir.
Hello, Chinchilla.
Chinchilla, how are you?
I'm okay. Living in the moment.
You living in the moment?
Yeah.
How does it feel to live in the moment?
Honestly, it's a bit intimidating because you never know. You might slip up, but then you realize that's okay. I can slip up a little. I'm human. I'm allowed to. And then you just move on,
I like that. Why do you think people keep living in the past instead of in the moment? Damn, we're just going right into it.
Because people have unresolved issues. People need closure. And when they don't get that, when the wound isn't closed, it continues to open up. It gets infected, all that gross stuff. So people want closure. And I think we had a conversation kind of similar to that before the podcast started. A lot of people started using ChatGPT as a therapy.
Yes, let's talk about that.
Imagine having an argument with somebody and you don't feel satisfied after the argument, and they didn't let you vent and get everything out that you wanted to.
Yes.
So you run a ChatGPT, hey, ChatGPT, let me tell you about what just happened. Am I crazy? Was I in the wrong? Were they wrong? Just be honest with me and tell me what happened, and you can get closure now from AI and stuff.
Wow. I saw it on TikTok, and somebody said, if you're using ChatGPT for therapy, you need help. Do you really need help?
It depends on what kind of therapy. If it's for some deep-seated sugar honey iced tea, then yeah, you probably need help. If you're obsessively telling ChatGPT all these crazy things, then you need better help. A therapist is going to be better for you than ChatGPT. So needing help shouldn't be a negative thing. It should just be you should seek professional help. But if you just have these little social issues or these little personality and nitbits that you want to iron out, and you need a second opinion, a second voice, ChatGPT is perfectly fine. It's not going to tell you anything crazy unless you make it tell you something crazy.
Yeah, I think ChatGPT is good. I think they look at it. I've been through therapy, therapy, talking to someone, and I think what I'm learning now and realizing that it can become intimidating for some people to very heavy to sit in front of a next human being and really talk about what they're really going through.
Vulnerability.
Yes, it's very hard. It's not easy. And I think it takes a kind of mindset. When you reach that kind of mindset, you're willing to talk. Like for me, a year ago or two, you would never, I would say, we're in 2025, 2023, you would never get me sitting down in a therapy office. I've never been to therapy all my life, or even talking to a person about things that I'm going through. I write it out, I journal, or I just deal with it in my head, or I make a video and literally talk to myself. No, really, even when I had a best friend or whatever, I've never gone through my friend. That's why they said they don't understand me. They can't read me. Because I've never gone through them with real vulnerable, like real things that I'm dealing with. I take my time and I deal with it myself. And then I guess it's a liberating. I guess we don't really share much. And then I just go about. But last year, for the pressure and everything that came down, relationship,
you needed that therapy,
friendship, everything just in once, I needed somebody to talk to, and I didn't even feel safe talking to the people in my world. I needed somebody outside, because in my world I felt judged by people that I really care about. Like, you see a little vulnerability side about me and something that I'm going through, and you don't really understand that. So I needed somebody outside, and that's what pushed me to seek therapy, to get understanding, to understand certain things. And the Samantha today is very much grounded. Like, I'm becoming so grounded, you understand? Like, so self-aware. So, like, standing in my power, standing in my truth is what it is, even if it's just me and God. And I believe that the people that is meant to be in my life, new friendships. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have like a best friend. I do not have a best friend, and I have associates, but I don't have friends that me and them is on the phone every day. That's things used to happen before and stuff. Because I changed my circle. You understand? I took my way out of certain circle that I was at that really affected me, because when I take a step back, I realized I was so nice. I was so honest. Nothing at all bothered me. I don't talk about my friends. Never. I don't do things like that. But they were holding that space with me. Like, talking about me and doing different things and stuff. So I had to take away myself from that. And it says sometimes if you have to lose the people around you and lose things to start over, that is okay too. Because life continue going. It just means that you're growing. You can wish people well. You don't have to have resentment against them or anything. I used to have resentment, but I realized that only hurt me more, not them. And resentment is not good.
So it's good to stay in your lane, but sometimes while you're sticking in your lane, you realize that there's only but so many lanes. You share lanes with other people, and you start to realize, hold up, the people in my lane, they going a little too slow. They're not going fast enough, or they're going too fast. These people out here driving crazy. So sometimes you got to shift to a different lane and get out that lane with those people who are holding you back.
Yes, that's what I always say to people. I mean, staying in your lane is what it means to you, right? Minding your own business. And as what you said, doesn't mean that you can't change lane. You can, but you're still minding your business. Because if you change lane, you're driving. And you're not looking, then you're not aware what's going to happen. You're going to crash, right? And so it's like just being more aware of things, when to get out of the way. And just
be mindful. Every lane that you change into is still going to be your lane. Any lane that you're in is your lane because you make it your lane. So don't feel alienated when you go to a different lane and you feel like, oh, I feel out of place, out of character. No, you define what your lane is.
And you are in control. I think some people don't realize that. You're in control for the move, and if you're stuck, nothing is going to happen. You may make traffic, get stuck in somebody else's traffic. But yes, back to the ChatGPT. I think a lot of people is using ChatGPT, like from a C with a resource, the feedback on the internet. A lot of people use ChatGPT to understand things. And first it was to maybe help with school, maybe help with business, but no, it's using as a therapy tool to help understand conversation and different things like that. So kudos to, everyone that does that. So it's been helping you.
I love it. Yeah, it helps me here and there. I love it for that reason. But at the same time, it's also so dangerous because you got to think about it. When people start using it as these tools that they would actually go to a person for, they replace that person. So many jobs are being replaced now. And that also affects me personally because what did I tell you before? I want to go to school to be, well, I'm going to school to be an English professor and also hopefully a publishing editor. What do publishing editors do? We go in and we proofread, we fix the text, we clarify and stuff.
Yeah.
ChatGPT can do all that now. They don't need us no more.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
that's scary.
Yes, all my days. So what does winning in your lane look like to you, and how do you know you have crossed the finish line?
What does winning in my lane look like?
Yes, and how do you know you have like crossed the finish line? Like, in other words, success.
Winning in my lane is when I wake up in the morning and I don't feel tired waking up. When I feel good and I feel like, oh man, I'm in a good place in life. Like I actually want to go out and do things with my day. Like today, I woke up just feeling great, and I'm so happy because you know what it feels like not to feel great, and you don't ever want to go back there. So when you wake up feeling great, you notice that difference. So I feel like I'm winning right now just by being here, being happy, being energetic.
I love that. Oh my God. And I'm bringing the energy. Yes. I'm bringing out the spice. Hello. So, what's one lane keeper habit you swear by?
You got to explain that one for me.
Okay. How do you kind of prioritize tasks and multiply, when you avoid multitasking? Because you said your mind sometime, like, a lot be going on and everything. You think a lot about different things.
A lot about
so,
a lot of different
like,
things.
What's one lane keeper habit that you swear by? Meaning that when you see yourself getting out of pocket, getting out of your lane, like what's one thing that helps you to avoid?
That's something I struggled with a lot in the past, but as I grow older, I'm starting to develop like coping mechanisms now. So one thing that helps me is by, I think I might have said this in the previous interview, is basically by identifying and anticipating the things before they happen, which only comes with experience. You start to see things and you see which direction they're going in now because you've been through that before. So now you can say to yourself, I see a car crash in that lane. Let me not even switch into that lane. Let me pass the car crash first and then switch into that lane further down the freeway, further down the highway. So it's all about using your judgment and your experience to anticipate stuff before it even happens and having coping mechanisms that help you pull back from it or approach it more softly. Sometimes even just walk away from it because that's all it takes.
For real, to really like breathe and really reorganize back your thoughts.
And it's so funny because I'm saying that right now, but I'm not practicing what I preach because I told you before this podcast started about the lady in the cafeteria.
Yes.
I'm not going to say anything about her name or anything, but I was getting into an argument with her, and then it was another customer that was like, she started putting her hand on my shoulder, like, it's okay, don't, just walk away. And I needed to realize in that moment, sometimes it's you have disagreements with people, and it's hard to pull yourself away from it, especially when you're, like, engrossed in that situation. But if we can just keep, like,
can you pass the charge over there for me?
Sure. If we can just keep a little voice inside of our head that tells us, like, just walk away. It's okay. Choose your battles wisely. It's okay to just take it on the chin this time and just, it's not worth it. If we keep that voice in our head, I think we find ourselves out of a lot of the trouble that we've been in the past.
That is so true. I like that you word that. And this is going to lead me in your other question. I think this one would be good for you because you said you kind of like think like that. So if distractions were exit ramps, right? Which one tempts you the most and how do you swerve back?
Oh my goodness. If distractions were exit ramps.
Yes. If distractions were exit ramps, you know when you're driving, you see which one would tempt you the most and how do you swerve back? Meaning like there's a lot of distraction in your life, right? That could pull, like there's a lot of distraction in the world itself that could pull someone, from their lane and things like that. Different people have different type of distraction.
Right.
So, which one would tempt you the most?
Let me tell you
how do
something,
you
Sam.
swerve back? Yes,
If
I'm
my
listening.
distractions were exit ramps,
Yes.
my highway would just be all exits. It would be no street. Oh my goodness, I can't even begin to imagine it. But what I do to swerve back is basically kind of what I said before. It's mindfulness. It's being aware that I'm about to lead into this exit. Let me swerve back. Self-awareness. That was a big subject in our last interview. Self-awareness is the most important thing. You have to be able to take a step back and look at yourself and recognize your own patterns. Practice pattern recognition.
Yeah.
And basically tell yourself, you're about to do this. Let's step back a bit, because we have so much time and we rush so much. We don't realize how much time we have. Just take the time that was given to you and just take a breather for a second and let things, play out.
I like that. That is so true. So that's how you swerve yourself back in, right? I love that. So what's one quirky or unexpected thing you do to protect your focus?
Quirky or Well, I'm a compulsive singer, and I'm realizing something about myself over the years that's what grounds me. When I just start randomly singing, that comes from when I'm stressed, when I have anxiety, when I have 1,000 thoughts inside my head and I can't pull myself back into focus. And I start singing, humming, whistling. All that stuff really helps me. Other people might look, why is this guy singing? What is he doing right now? For me, it's helping me stay in my lane, basically.
Like when you're scrolling and you see somebody's live, because when you jump in their live, they're going to see that you pop up. They're going to see your name. But some people, they will jump in to pop up or they accidentally click on it. But they will stay outside and watching you.
They're window shopping.
Yeah, they're window shopping. Like they can hear everything that you're saying, every single thing. Only thing is they can't see the comment. If there's a comment section, they can't see how much people is like in your live or whatever. But yeah, it's what it is. I don't go live very often on TikTok, so I don't really have a crowd. You got to be consistent on TikTok. People just come in and step out, and that's just about it. I think if you want to go over there, there's like 0 person on there, but there was so many people that came.
If there's one thing that I could have overnight, like just ask to magically develop the next day,
Unlock your phone
it would be.
Let me go on TikTok to see.
It would be
something,
consistency.
Okay.
Consistency is like a freaking superpower. Like even if it's bad consistent, like some people out here being toxic, they being little villains, but at least you can say that they are consistent with it. Consistency is like the key to perfection for me,
So how do you say consistent?
How do I don't stay consistent. I want more consistency. I try to pace myself. I try to stick to a schedule. I try to use, resources that are available to me. But I struggle a lot with motivation. I struggle with procrastination, stuff from like my ADHD, just my lazy personality, But, I'm trying to be more consistent.
So what lesson have you learned from failure or setback?
I'm still learning, and I'm probably going to learn more in the future how to stay in my lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, the setback that I had with my best friend was just a big reminder. Sometimes, I've always been that way since I was a kid. I've been an open book, and I've always said things that weren't necessary. And I've had people comment, okay, I get what you mean, but you didn't have to say all that. Like, I'm just a yapper. That's what they call it, a yapper. And I'm learning more as I grow older how to have a filter and how to keep certain thoughts inside of my head instead of just impulsively shouting out the first thing that I think.
So how do you kind of handle criticism or feedback then?
It depends on the criticism and the feedback, because not all criticism and feedback is valid. And I told my mom that the other day.
What do you mean?
My mom was in the passenger seat, and we were coming onto a ramp
Okay.
to merge with another highway, and it was a lot of traffic, so the car in front of us was suddenly stopping, and I was putting on my brakes. I was pushing my brakes, but it wasn't fast enough for her. So she got all jumpy, thinking that we're gonna hit into the car in front of us, and I'm just like, Mom, we got this. I'm not gonna crash. What do you think? I'm gonna crash into the car in front of us? You gotta relax. You have to trust me. Trust that I'm the driver. I'm behind the wheel. I know what I'm doing. And she's basically saying, "Oh well, you weren't pressing your brakes." Ma'am, you making me feel crazy because I know for a fact I was pressing my brakes. Not all criticism or not what people perceive that you're doing wrong is valid. Sometimes it comes from their perspective, and they need to realize that that's just their perspective. They don't know everything that's actually going on.
Well, what if she was just looking out for you in that moment, right?
That's okay, but it's also a matter of how you communicate it. So if she had said, Nazir, it didn't feel like you had pressed your brakes, which I did press my brakes, I would still argue about that. But if she said, it didn't feel like you pressed your brakes, if you did, that's okay. But just next time, press your brakes with a little more intention, slow up a little more because I wouldn't want you to crash into the car in front of you. That's okay, but if you met my mom, she, especially when she's in the passenger seat, she can be jumpy. Ooh. And a lot of people are like that. They take what you're doing and they get jumpy, or they rush. They think too fast about something instead of just letting you do you.
Okay, I kind of understand that part. Communication is what really helped, right? So I know you said you're an English major right now. You want to be an English teacher. So how do you continue English professor, my correction. So what's the last skill, book, or experience that added extra fuel to your lane?
What do you mean?
Like, how do you continue learning and growing within your lane?
Well, I just found out about something called the Chicago Manual of Style, and I just added that to my Amazon shopping cart, and that's basically going to teach me more than what I already know about writing, about the structure of writing, about punctuation, about sentence structuring, grammar, all that stuff. So I already know so much because I've been writing for 16 years and improving every single day on my craft, but English is such a big, rich, diverse thing that there's so much more to learn. I'm learning from every avenue. When I write, I'm learning. When I talk to ChatGPT about my writing, they're teaching me stuff too. Like, you have to do this after a dialogue box. Like, there's just so many things I didn't know, and it's very exciting to me.
Oh, wow. So after you finish write, you go over and ask ChatGPT if this is good?
Sometimes. It depends on what I'm writing. Like recently, I learned that this is a bit of a nerd moment for me, but I learned that, let's say you put in dialogue quotation, good morning, and then you have a character say, she said. So good morning, she said. You're not supposed to capitalize the S and she. I used to always capitalize stuff like that. Like after dialogue, I would capitalize.
Oh, I do that. So you're supposed to put a comma and then lowercase, no?
And then lowercase. Yeah, yes. I didn't know that. I would do uppercase. Oh. So I found out that if there's an action, like if she said good morning, she hugged me, then you would capitalize that S and she. But if it's like something like she's speaking, good morning, she said, good morning, she cheered, good morning, she yelled. All of those are like spoken actions, and that is when you don't capitalize she.
Okay. Ooh, you see, we're learning something, guys. Listen to me. We're learning something in class today on here. Okay, we got the English professor right here. All right. Professor Ivy is taking over, and listen, he said he's going to do big things. So let's move to your motivation. How can your story serve as a roadmap for someone else? Because your story been a little roller coaster, and you're still finding who you are.
I think my story can provide a lot of comfort for people who are confused and maybe even a little scared. Like, that's how I was. My road has not been straight. It has not been neat or clean.
You're not straight. I mean, I understand.
It has not been neat or clean. And that basically tells people it's okay to get messy. It's okay if you don't have a perfect cookie cutter TikTok or Instagram story to tell people about, oh, I started here, and then I ended up here, and then at the end I was here. No stories is going to be perfect. Sometimes you even fall back and you relapse, and all of that is okay because it's you. at the end of the day, and there's no one that you should love more than yourself. All of the ugliness, all of the messiness, all of the sloppiness, all of it is you.
Sloppy woppy.
There's always going to be a part of you that's sloppy and dirty, but
Messy.
you have to love that about yourself, because you only get you at the end of the day. You can't just switch bodies.
That's true. So when a person relapse, like, what do you think that do to them?
I think it messes with them, because I would relapse on bad habits a lot, and it made me think, am I really changing? Am I really growing? It messes with their confidence and makes them think that change isn't really possible. And people say people don't really change. I disagree with that. I think if you really put your best foot forward, you can curb your bad habits and come out better.
Do you think change happen to a person when they feel safe or in a good environment?
No.
No.
I think, and I have some people that would agree with me on this. Some people need confrontation, and they need a bit of maybe anger, a little bit of hurt and pain to learn and change. It's like how somebody isn't going to know that it's bad to touch fire until they touch it, and that pain is going to stay with them. They're like, oh, I'm never going to touch fire again. They changed because they had that bit of pain. But so it's a balance.
But then, I'll put it like that, as a balance, because then some people, they touch fire, and they know that they're not supposed to touch fire again, and that hurt, but then they become scared of everything.
Yeah, that's true.
So they become scared of trying something, because they'll be like, that might hurt me. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think when it comes to relapsing, I think you need some kind of support to help you to really navigate back and really get back into it. Because then if you stay there, you're going to drown yourself in your thought, beat yourself up, be mad at yourself and everything.
I think what's important is not looking at everything as fire, because a lot of people could have that support in their life, but they think it's all fire. You need to identify what is really the fire, what should go untouched, and what's really actually there to help you. If you have and if you're a dog, you have an owner, you don't bite the hand that feeds you. You have to identify who's feeding you, who's really helping you, who's in your corner supporting you, and not just lash out at everything. And some people struggle with that, but
I like that. So I have this question for you as an English parent. Maybe you can, if you could change or rewrite one society's so-called rules of life in today's world, what would you change and why?
I would change how we view masculinity, because it is so ridiculous, and it's always changing. Like, you can't wear pink. Some people, I saw a video where someone was getting a pink lighter, like to light the cigarette, and they got so offended.
Yes, I think I know what you're talking about. They got so mad because the lighter was pink.
That is so stupid, because it's so trivial. Like, stop getting distracted with what other people are doing and getting distracted by these gender roles, because all of that was just passed on. Like, that was taught. You were taught, oh, this is wrong, you can't do this, you can't do that. And people lose their ability to question, why is it that way? Why am I being taught this way? Why is this wrong? Why is that wrong? And they don't realize that all of this is being put in place to distract us and to suppress us.
So do you think, I like to read that, because that's why many men, they don't like Nicki Minaj, because they're like, it's too pink, it's Barbie, it's too gay, right? So I think that's like a stigma of that. But men wearing skirt, what do you think about that? That is still masculine. Do you think, what's your thoughts on that?
I honestly wouldn't even get too caught up in the masculinity or femininity of it, because a man can wear a skirt and he can still have that masculine energy if he wants. But I also want people to feel comfortable being feminine. So if you want to wear a skirt and feel a little feminine, just know that that's okay too. You don't need to put on that skirt and still masquerade like, oh, but I'm still a man. You can put on that skirt and be a little softer. Be like, I'm still a man, but I'm soft. I can be soft, and that's okay.
Okay. Men out there is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of losing
There's so much expectations from men in this world, and it sucks, because, I mean, with women too, both of us, we're put in a box, and we're told that we have to be a certain way. You have to man up, and that's such a tragic thing, because it causes us to suppress something inside of us and make it a part of us small so that we can fit into other people's ideas of what we should be.
Totally understand that. So, dream passenger in your lane, dead or alive?
Who?
What's a dream passenger in your lane, dead or alive?
Give me an example.
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King. Who's your dream passenger in your life that's still alive?
Dead or alive?
Oh, dead or alive. Okay.
Dream passenger in my lane, dead or alive? Currently, I don't have anyone that I really idolize like that. So, but if I should have someone in the passenger seat to drive, it would be Nikki.
Of course.
Yeah.
So for me, it would just be, honestly, it could be a lot of people. I can't designate it as a single person. It would be anybody who has what I'm aiming for, who are at the end of their goals and they've succeeded and they can, impart wisdom upon me and look at my life and tell me, hey, you're doing okay. Maybe you can do a little more of this, a little less of this, but you're doing okay,
Yeah. Do you beat yourself up and feeling that you're not doing good?
Man, I beat myself up all the time, but, you got to realize that that's just that little voice inside of your head, and everybody has that little voice, and sometimes you got to just tell it to go away so you can be your best self.
Quiet it. Listen, it's my turn. I like that. But if your lane could inspire the next generation, what legacy do you want painted on it?
I want a legacy of self-acceptance and liberation.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so what's one sentence you want people to take to remember after listening to you today?
Oh, do you remember my last sentence?
What's one thing?
You remember the last one from my previous interview?
No.
It was, there are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy.
Okay, and what's for this one?
This one, I would say this is one of my favorite quotes, basically, is I would rather try and fail than fail to try. There's so many people who will get inside their car, sit behind the passenger seat, and not even start the ignition. They too scared to go anywhere. So the fact that you put the keys inside the ignition today and you at least put the foot on the gas and tried to go somewhere, even if you failed to get there, that's still, at least you tried,
At least you try. I love that. So discipline or motivation, and why?
Discipline versus motivation.
Those discipline or motivation, which one?
That's a good one. Those are both very important. I think I would go with discipline because it goes back to what I said about consistency. People need structure in their lives so that they can thrive, and people get that from all types of things. But what it basically comes down to is community. Some people go to church to get their community, to get that discipline and structure. Some people find community with LGBT. Some people come to clubs at their colleges. But structure and discipline are very important for us to thrive, I believe.
I like that because I always ask that question, right? When it comes to motivation versus discipline. And many people always say motivation. But when motivation is lost, discipline is always going to be there because that's something that is instinct inside of you. And some people look at motivation from people. You understand? And what if, sometimes we wake up out of bed and we'll be like, oh, I don't want to get up today or whatever. And you have something to do. But it's that discipline that's always going to keep you up because that's a promise to yourself.
The
that I have to
discipline
get it
is
done.
the foundation and the motivation is the building on top. You can't have that building without the foundation.
Yes, I love that. So without it, everything is going to crumble. So any final words of wisdom for the listeners?
Y'all just need to not be so hard on yourselves, love yourselves a lot more, and go out and do things. I've changed so much since I moved to East Orange 2 years ago. I've opened myself up to new opportunities and just went out and did things. I used to be such a homebody before when I lived in Passaic, and now I'm just taking opportunities. Even if it's by yourself, that's okay too. Just yesterday, I went to a networking event in East Rutherford for musicians by myself, and I went up to the microphone and I sang in front of a whole bunch of people. I opened myself up to the opportunity, and they applauded, and that felt so good.
Wow, I love that for you. That is so good. Oh my God, we definitely Yes, I think that's the fear that comes in a lot of people to making that extra step of things that they want. Same as though you were just telling me, I need to find places and go here and go do this or whatever. Sometimes I can be reserved, but I'm also very like out there. It's so funny. But I need to find by that. I'm getting a new car first, so I'm getting a new car. I
That's
get what
the
I'm
first
saying.
step.
But what's your favorite road trip anthem or your favorite song that lifts you up?
Right now, I have been playing a lot of that song by Frank Ocean called Crack Rock.
Crack rock?
Yo, it's so funny when people hear the title because it's so like,
What is
oh,
that?
Crack Rock.
What is that?
It's basically a song about somebody who basically destroyed their entire life because of their obsession with drug use and stuff, and how society doesn't help that person if they die because of overdose. That doesn't get reported on the news. Nobody pays attention to stuff like that. So it's very tragic how so many people are struggling with addiction and obsession, and society is basically turning a blind eye to it. We need to do more.
So you be turning up to that?
Turning up to it, man. Because for what it's about, it's a very energetic song in my opinion. So I'll be like, crack rock. It's a good song. I turn up to it, yeah. Also, Amy Winehouse. I've been listening to a lot more Amy Winehouse because
What's your favorite song from her?
My favorite song from her is probably the one that I performed recently, Back to Black. Oh my gosh. We always said goodbye with words. I died 100 times.
You go back to her and I go back to. I go back to.
It's a really good song.
No, that was good. I need to send you the video though. I need to send you that video. You guys did a good job. Okay, so I think that's it because we're definitely over time. This one is 38 minutes. The first one was 37 minutes. We're definitely over time.
Sam.
But any final word for me because I'm not gonna go deeper. But we definitely need to have a personal episode because we need to get away from things and we need to talk about some things.
Oh, man.
And then we may touch about the gay world because I need you to open up, right? You're stepping in your truth of that, which I love. So any final word for me?
I mean, I've been saying it this entire interview, but I love you. I'm so proud of you, and I've gotten to see you over the past year open up and develop like a flower in spring, and I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Don't let me blush.
She is going to be Miss New Jersey, and then we're going to take it a step further. She's going to be the first Jamaican Miss America.
Ooh, look at that. Okay, all right. Thank you. I don't be like putting myself like, Anyway, but sometimes you just feel like you're not doing enough, but you are doing enough. You understand? And I start embracing because I see a lot of changes within myself. I'm more grounded, as what you said. So, yeah.
You are doing enough, but you could always be doing more. Just keep
going.
Fighting, keep chasing that dream, keep
That's
grinding.
what it is about. But for all my listeners out there, I'd love for you to go over to my Instagram. This episode is going to be coming out next Tuesday. Please go over to Instagram at stay_in_your_lane_podcast. And of course, go to YouTube at SLAOESSEX or even Spotify at SLAOESSEX. And then you will see the playlist of Stay in Your Lane. We are definitely over time. But as usual, what I always say to you, you are enough. Don't compare yourself to nobody because it's only one you. Okay? Start unknown, finish unforgettable. My name is Samantha, a.k.a. Miss Spicy. Stay.
In your lane.
Okay. Stay.
In your lane.
Okay. But thank you all for listening, and I will see you guys in the next one. See the kingdom and all that you do will be granted to you. I'm out.
This has been a production of the Essex County College Podcast Club. Copyright 2024, all rights reserved.